My name is Claus Torp Hansen. My name is Claus Torp Hansen, and I'm going to tell you about a method I've developed with one of my colleagues, Ulrik Jørgensen. And Ulrik Jørgensen is sitting in the far back of the lecture hall here. We focus on conceiving, and we have a course we have been teaching for 6 years now, I think, and I'll talk a bit about the method we have developed for this course. Oh, there it is. Conceiving is the C in CDIO, and if you look into conceiving in the CDIO book, there's actually not much attention given to CDIO. C is a conceive stage, defining customer needs, considering technology, enterprise strategy and regulations, developing conceptual, technical and business plans. And there's something in the syllabus about knowledge of contemporary issues and values, setting system goals and requirements, defining function, concept and architecture. But problem identification is not a simple desk research task. There can be many actors involved. These actors can have different and even not very well established idea of what could be a good design result. So we are looking upon in industrial practice here, product development, and we are very concerned about what to tell the students about how to conceive. So the overall question here is how to conceive. And we have developed two approaches based on our research, two approaches to problem identification. The first approach is to identify the arenas of development, and the second approach is to synthesize a design concept which carries 2 dimensions. The methods or approaches has grounding in theory. Ulrik comes from the socio-technical theory and has developed the arenas of development, and my own background is in engineering design methodology, and I have developed the idea of the 2-dimensional design concept. The arena is a metaphor. Now you shall imagine all of you being a company, and you want to design a new product and you wanted to put it onto the market. And what are you looking on? You're looking on an arena. And what does this arena consist of? Well, it consists of actors. There are competitors, there are customers, there are users, there are institutions, but there are also artifacts. There are existing products on the market. There are also technologies, and there could be various standards, norm, regulations, code of practice, and so on. So the first step here is to identify who are the actors involved. And how do we build this development arena? Yeah, first, as I said, we have to identify the actors, artifact, institutions, and so on. The next step is to try to identify configurations between these actor worlds, and then consider strategies in which we can identify, engage actors. As an example here, there was a couple of students working with life-saving in case of drowning accidents. I mean, it's very open. Life-saving is certainly an issue related to drowning. And the students here have tried to find out who are the actors. The actors are shown here. You cannot read it, doesn't matter. Then they have found out that there are some actor worlds. There are drowning accidents related to bathing at coast, people bathing in the harbor, where there is organized in a harbor bath, or maybe people can drown in the harbor, or they can drown at sea. And if you look upon these, here are 4 different actor worlds related to drowning accidents. And within an actor world, there are a number of actors, and these actors together create a certain way of looking upon accidents. They create a certain way, a certain meaning, and so on. And based upon this consideration, we can try to identify where do we want to make improvements with respect to life-saving. Do we look upon bathing at coast? Do we look upon people sailing? Do we look upon harbors, and so on? And then based upon these maps, we can make consideration of design interventions. And then, of course, consider a design intervention. It has to be attractive. it has to be economic feasible, and it has to be realizable, otherwise it has no value. The design concept says that when we design solutions, we have to be aware of the fact that a solution is not just a technical solution. The solution has to be used. So we say a design concept has to articulate two ideas, namely the idea with the product and the idea in the product. The idea with the product is the product in use by each user. You can see here's the user, here's the product, he's using the product for something, and he gets his output here. And we have to understand the difference that matters in the user's context, because value related to product has to be found in the use context, in the idea with. On the other hand, we have the idea in the technical solutions. You can see the designer or engineer, he's sitting here at his computer, and he's thinking about the technical solutions which we need to realize the product, to realize the idea with. So when the student presents something to us and say, this is a concept, we ask them to tell us what is the idea with and what is the idea in. And if there's only an idea in, then they have to find out what is the idea with. How do we synthesize a design concept? Well, concept, as I've described it here, is very much related to context. So in order to, this is seen as a product, and we have the concept here, and in order to understand the concept, we have to focus upon the context. And we can talk about two contexts here, a kind of narrowed context, namely the users and the use process. But there's, of course, also a broader context, the development arena here, which fits the things together. We have done this for 6 or 7 years now, giving in the course where we tell the students about the development arena, train them in creating the development arena, training them in creating design concepts. They do it in their sixth semester project, third year. They're doing it in a course while they're doing their bachelor project. So in their bachelor project, they're working with concept renewal, and they use the theory. I'll not tell you about detail what they think about our course, but I'll try to give you an illustrative example of using this way of thinking. And the example is giving on life-saving in public space, product, services, or systems. Here are sketched some current situations we see in Denmark. There's now been installed defibrillators in public places. You can actually find 4 defibrillators here at the university. You just need to know where they are, but they are here. And of course, they can be used in case of cardiac arrest to give life-saving effort. In summer 2009, 10 persons died by drowning at Danish beaches. They are holiday makers. They come here to have holiday, to have some lovely day with their families. But 10 persons actually died. This is not a good situation. Ambulance men in Denmark complain that when they care for the work at road accidents, it's difficult because other road users tend to ignore them. They see a road accident as a nuisance, and they see the ambulance people working there for carrying through their life-saving work as a nuisance. And what they do in Copenhagen, actually, when there is a car accident, a road accident, they take a fire engine and use a fire engine to block the road for other road users, which is necessary, but certainly not a good situation. Fire engines could be used for other things. It could be necessary. So the task we give the design teams is, what if life-saving in public space should be improved? Which concept can we propose? And as I said, these are the examples we give the students. First, which of course pops up here, or which could pop up here when we talk about the development arena and the design concept, is, what is public space? And here are from a course I ran last year, where I had 8 student groups working. 4 of them actually consider, how shall we understand public space? The first group, one group here says about responsibility, different stakeholders, Another group says public space, it is outside home, there are many dangers, and you become dependent of help from outside. Third group defined public space as an area that is open, accessible to all citizens. And the third group says that public space is urban environment, densely populated, accidents occur often, and high energy traumas. So you can see, just giving this task here, the design task or design challenge, life-saving in public space, leads to 4 different interpretations of the term public space. So it really, we open up, we also, the previous presentation talked about open questions. Here are certainly openness. If you look upon the challenges that these students come up with, there was a group looking upon responsibility in relation to concert in public fields, inspired by an accident at Roskilde Festival some 11 years ago, and Love Parade in Duisburg last year, where I think up to 20 people were killed and 500 were injured because of panic. 4 teams focus on ambulance response time in case of an accident, namely, you can say, to get the ambulance fast to the case of the accident. And a group focused upon awareness and localization of a man overboard. How can that be improved? You see again, very different but relevant design challenges. And one reflection here could be that it is motivating for the design teams that we give them some inspirational situation and then themselves have to define their design challenge. 4 teams focused on ambulance response time. And there was some focusing on if we can alarm the other road users that an ambulance is approaching, then they can clear the road and that will give fast drive for the ambulance. So you can say here it becomes the aim to design an alarming system for road users, giving more awareness. Another group focused upon ambulance victim protection. When the traffic accident has happened and the ambulance people are there, how can we make a safe working environment for the paramedics, and how can we make a fast establishment of barriers giving this workspace? Cleared cross sections in cities, of course. The problem very often with fast approaching ambulances are the cross sections. Can we make a green way for ambulances and flashing traffic lights to warn drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists? In Denmark, it's well known that cyclists do not respect the red light. So if there's only a red light and a fast approaching ambulance, there will just be another traffic accident. But maybe we could have something with flashing traffic lights. And then there was a group saying fast ambulance response time could be obtained by an automatic alarm call. They see a car accident where the driver is unconscious and he himself or she cannot make the call. So they focus on an automatic GPS system in the car being activated when the airbags are activated. So when the airbags are activated, the ambulance service is alarmed. I've just now looked just one of them, namely the alarming road users. The existing solution today, you know, it is a sound signal and a flashing blue lights on the ambulance. And there comes some proposal for new designs here. Intelligent signs which switch on when an ambulance is approaching. Alarm signals sent to road users by mobile phones. A GPS navigator, yeah, it should be GPS navigator, warning drivers of bypassing ambulances. Maybe the steering wheel could begin to vibrate, then you'll certainly recognize something had happened. Or an acoustic alarm at cross sections. So we find some very different solutions here. And then we could say here could be something where we can see the idea in and the idea with, and then we have to find out, can we make business upon that? And that again opens for the development arena. What is the value on the development arena for whom? Who is capable of realizing the concept and creating viable business? And is technology available, and so on? Who are customers and competitors? So our approach or our proposal to you when tell your students how to how to conceive is to think about the design concept, the idea with, think about the development arena, and consider the business idea, and see these as parallel activities. Sometimes the development arena could come first. Who are the actors? What are the relations there? Sometimes the design concept could come first. And of course, we also have to think about the business idea. To wrap up now, I propose two approaches, the arenas of the development and the two-dimensional design concept. I tried here by an example to illustrate that they are productive. Here you have actually seen some proposals, some ideas for improved life-saving in public space. We have applied it 6 years now in relation to product design, system design, service design. And we see this as an important contribution to conceiving what to tell students about how to conceive. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Any questions? Hi, I'm so glad you're talking about conceiving. So
Thank you.
Huge issue. I understand that you do this in like a final course, or in one specific course. The idea of how to conceive.
We developed this double approach with taking the development arena, the concept of development arena, and the design concept, and we teach it in a 6-semester course in the bachelor education. We have a bachelor education in design and innovation, and in the 6th semester, the students carry through their bachelor project, and these bachelor projects are very much related to designing something. And we teach this as a theory course in parallel with the project.
So my question is, or your opinion is, do you think that the fact that they don't, it's going to make it harder for them to conceive at this point due to the fact that we don't have them conceive, since we conceive the problems for them and they just have to solve them. And I'm talking about how we present problems where we have all the information magically on a sheet of paper, and you go to the textbooks, you basically find the same thing. So, like the training for this part, where you make them conceive a real-life problem, do you think it's harder when you never had them do this before, and maybe simpler cases?
No, I mean, we tell them what to do. So, I mean, it's not that difficult. There were some illustrations here, and these. Here is it's from a group we have had this spring semester. They were working with the hospital here in Denmark at the Department of Neonatology, where they have the babies which are very ill, which cannot be taken home, and there are the mothers there, and the mothers cannot breastfeed the babies. Of course, there it's very important that the mother's milk, the milk from a mother is given to the right child. And you shall not give it to another child, which is ill. But it's very important. And the mothers milk out the milk, it's put in the refrigerator, and then they have to go and find the milk. And if you are, how to identify the milk? Who are the actors here? Well, there are nurses, there are doctors, there are mothers, there are fathers, and there are many other people there. So we tell them what to do, and they have their they have the bachelor project from where they have, you can say, the problem, and they work with it. Would like to supplement?
Because your question also goes for another dimension. The students have been conceiving before. Okay. What we do here is we give them a theory about conceiving. Okay. Earlier they have had it as a project challenge, but without theorizing. Okay.
Thank you.
One more question? No, it's going to be any comments? Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for presenting.